WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Ardnamurchan, Ardnamurchan AD/10:22. I hate the way they number their bottles. All right, so we have here the Madeira Cask release, bottled on the 10th of October 2022. Madeira Hogshead finish, 5,781 bottles, 58.2% ABV. I shared this bottle for 75 euros. At the moment, it's basically sold out, and the people online are asking anywhere between 100 and 150 euros for the bottle. All right, so there is this nice little QR code here. I don't know. So my camera should focus, and you could scan it from the screen if you wanted to, and you could read along. So let's put a little bit into our glass. Now, Ardnamurchan and I think what they're doing is fantastic. How they're doing is fantastic. What I have in my glass sometimes is not really what I go, wow. At least not yet, all right? So I know Ralphie, Aquavite, and so on, they really like it, and it's, for them, something fabulous. So why not? So what I have here is I have bottle, according to my QR code, number 74 from 5,781. And it was bottled by Jess Hamilton on the 10th of October, 2022. Don't they have like a bottling line? I mean, really? Did he? It invokes the image of him actually hand filling this, putting this on, and putting the shrink cap on there. I don't really think that he bottled it, but hey, I think he stood there and watched the machine bottle it, but that's just me. I have not visited the distillery. I have not seen the bottling line. All right, the barley is here. We use Concerto according to the website here from ardnamurchandistillery.cu.uk, and the farm name is called Broomhall. Now we have actually 25 barrels here, and they are, I don't think they were all made in the same batch, at least from the barrel numbers. I would not assume so. So what it says here, the mash operator is Nikki Doherty, maybe, and it's always the same. It's always 64 for the degrees Celsius for the first water. It's always 82, and it's always 98. The same thing with the fermentation. It says the average hour fermentation. Because it's a batch, it's going to be 76 hours, and the fermentation operator is going to be Nikki. I don't think he was there for the entire 76 hours. What about you? All right, then going over here to the hydrometer, exactly the same thing. The still operator, not sure if he did all of the barrels, but he did most of the barrels, is going to be Gordon McKenzie. We have the first cut will be we start high and go low. All right, so the first cut is 73.2%. Everything else is going to be heads, and then tails are after anything with 63.9. So you go down into the tails. So the maturation, that's where I get a little bit confused here. I have to actually read some things, and I get it better, but it takes a while. All right, so I pull up the PDF with all the casks. So we have all the cask types. It's all ASB. So ASB is defined down below. Thank you, as an American Standard barrel. But then it says here wood straight / fill. And each and every time, because it's all the spirit type is all unpeated, the vintage is all 2016. It's bourbon / Madeira. Now, to be very honest, I read that the first time and I went, excuse me, what? Because I read here Madeira Cask release. I expected a full maturation. Me. I know it's wrong, but that's what I expected. It did not say Madeira Cask finish release. It says Madeira Cask release. And so I assumed, in my naive modus that I am, that this is going to be a full maturation Madeira. No. It's actually 5 years in first fill bourbon, and then 14 months in Madeira. Now we can argue. It says here on the side here, finished in 250 liter Madeira hogsheads. Now it does say very, very small over here in the corner here, finished in. So that's nice that they did that. It does say unchilled, filtered. It does say here natural color. So they're doing almost everything right here. But a little bit of information, a little bit more information would be nice. So we have the cask. They're all numbered here. So 1249, 1250, 1252. Where's 1251? And so on and so on and so on. It goes all the way up to 1266, and then it jumps to 1291. So in between 1266 and 1291, they did something else. I don't know. All right, so that's why it's all that information on that website is with the QR code. I'm going to say yes, but if it was a single cask, perfect. But as soon as you start mixing 25 different casks together, I'm not really sure that they were all distilled in the same day. They weren't all made from the same mash tun. They weren't all distilled in the same on the same batch there and on the pot stills. So, all right, that's just me and my little bit of a complaining. Dear Ardnamurchan, in case anyone watches this video, it'd be good to have a little bit more information on the PDFs. Yeah, so you do say ASB is your American Standard Barrel. You could write down on the PDF, for example, 5 years maturation, and then transfer it over into Madeira Hogsheads. No information about Hogshead whatsoever in the sheet, only in the bottle, and you could talk about how long as well. I am fairly certain that you did not take one bourbon barrel and put it into one hogshead. Hogshead's 250. American Standard barrels are basically 200. After 5 years of maturation, you've lost maybe 20 liters plus per barrel, so you could actually use less hogsheads than you did for the bourbon barrels, less than the 25 original. Also, that information, if you're going to go for maximum transparency, could have interested a geek like me. All right, so let's try this and let's compare this. What do we want to compare it to? I have here from Dramore a 9-year-old Deanston, matured in the finest oak barrels. Of course, they matured in the crappiest oak barrels. No, you're not going to say that. And then it was finished in a first fill Madeira cask. We only have here only 51.4%, but I still think it's good. Here we have 58.2. So I like Madeira cask matured whiskeys and finished whiskeys, and so this is one of mine that I thoroughly enjoy. Will the Ardnamurchan be even able to get close to it? Age statement? No age statement on the label. So this is from Deanston. This is from Ardnamurchan. If you're in Fort Williams, it's about a 90-minute car trip up above to the north and to the northwest there. It's slight. The Madeira finish is not as noticeable as I thought, to be honest. I was expecting a lot more. So on the nose, they say we should have burnt caramel and honey-coated dates. That's a tasting note. Hints of bitter walnut oil. Never had bitter walnut oil. And blood orange marmalade. All right, so they are going in a certain direction. There's a sour, there's a bitter, and there's burntness in here. I don't know if I would really try to describe my whiskey as burnt, bitter, and yeah, okay, good. Blood orange marmalade is for me bitter again, sour. So, burnt, bitter, sour. But on the palate, and I'll try this here. Ardnamurchan is not this soft, smooth, silky whiskey. It's a little bit in your face. There's a astringency going on there. There's wood. There's a little bit of black pepper, even white pepper going on in my mouth. And there's just a hint of the Madeira cask finish. I'm going to predict or assume, making an ass of you and me, that the Madeira cask were not first fill. After having them 14 months in those Madeira casks, there should be a lot more Madeira flavor evident. So it says here the official tasting notes from Ardnamurchan Distillery: rich jasmine tea. Never had that. I've had jasmine tea, but never like this. Panna cotta? Nope. Honey wax? I did not notice any wax at all. Beautifully balanced with a hint of tobacco leaf at the finish. Delicately elegant for an Ardnamurchan. All right. I found it a tad bit hot and a tad bit young. So I'm going to add a little bit of water, take it down to 50%. Before I do that, I would like to just briefly take a look at my Deanston here. On the nose, there's much more evidence of a Madeira finish. There's a little bit more of a citrus, malty, vanilla moment going on. And there's a little bit of a, I'm going to say, sulfite, sulfur moment. This whiskey is one of the whiskeys I've really enjoyed over the last year, constantly taking to compare other whiskeys with. There's a tiny little bit of a wood dustiness going on at the end. The alcohol with a 51.4%, absolutely perfectly integrated. The Madeira with a little bit of a raspberry, strawberry moment going on in there. Balance, nice. I like. This is for me like a C plus B minus whiskey today. This is a solid C. This is a whiskey that I would not recommend hunting for. But if the whiskey gods, the single malt Scotch gods, shined upon you and gave you the opportunity to buy this bottle for a humane price, like I did for 75 euros, I would say go for it. Value for money, more of a C minus, D plus plus type of moment, actually. But I expected more. Now, I expected more Madeira. I expected more of the finish. I expected a little bit more of an age going on here, which I don't get. It's still somewhat youthful and spritey. If you had the right amount of water, I think I took this down actually about 48%. You do get a waxy, creamy moment here. Okay. If I were to try this again and again and again and figure out the exact perfect strength for this, I'm probably going to be about between 48 and 50%. It does have a good character there. A lot of the astringency, a lot of the sourness, the bitterness is gone. I still don't get the jasmine tea. I don't get the panna cotta. I do get a little bit of the waxiness. I do get maybe a hint of the tobacco leaf at the finish. And it can be with water. It can be very, very nice. Solid C. I'm going to stick with that. Does the world need a whiskey like this? Yes. Why? Number one, Ardnamurchan usually combines unpeated and peated whiskeys together. And therefore, there's always a bit of peat. This is fabulous. This is unpeated. I get to try the distillery, the distillate from the distillery unpeated. Yay. Of course, I can find another bottle that is peated, but that doesn't matter. I have something here unpeated, so I can figure out what's going on there. The Madeira cask is very, very light and gentle. It's so subtle. It's almost like a rum finish sometimes. It's also very subtle. Sherry's in your face, ports in your face, red wines in your face. But this Madeira and is very, very a little bit under the radar there. Well done, well done. I thank you very much here, Ardnamurchan, for making a great whiskey, a good whiskey, and with water it becomes better. My question of the day is, what do you think about Ardnamurchan? Now, as a brand and as a distillery, are they the next big thing? Have you tried some of their unpeated, peated, and some of their mixed whiskeys? Have you had some single casks? What does the distillery work best in? Is it a sherry? Is it a port? Is it rum? Is it a Madeira? Is it a tequila? Is it a, I don't know, a stout cask? What would you actually, what have you tried that's been very, very good? Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm still thankful for Ardnamurchan for all they're doing, environmentally friendly, sustainable. Adelphi basically decided, hey, we need to have our own distillery. We won't be getting casks from anyone else in the future unless we trade, and so we'll just build our own distillery. And them having the audacity to do that in a location that is so far away from most civilization, I'm not really sure it's going to be the best thing for the distillery. Tourism, I know they had a lot of problems back then. I'm going to say capacity limitations on sizes of different pieces of equipment while building the distillery. But I think it's really, really a privilege that we have now today to grow up with the distillery. Some of the people that have been in whiskey now for 20, 25 years go back. I remember when Aaron started. Oh, wow, back then. And then 12, 14 years ago, I remember when Karen started. Work in progress. And we actually have the possibility now to grow up a little bit in our whiskey connoisseurness with a distillery like Ardnamurchan and all the other ones that are out there at the moment. So thank you very much. Like, subscribe, tell others, and hope to see you real soon here. Whiskey Jason, bye-bye.